afternoon, nutritional therapy community. I am Patty Zito, delighted and honored to be with Mark England today. He is a personal friend and also has been a mentor and coach in his Enlifted program that I myself have been certified, and it has truly impacted my life since 2019. And I am so happy to start this conversation with a dear friend. So, Mark England, welcome to NTA Australia and New Zealand.
I turn 19 years old, professionally speaking, tomorrow. So I've been doing one thing for the past 19 years, full time, which is researching, presenting, coaching, and the past 6.5 years certifying coaches when it comes to mindset. We've done a good job in some areas. One of them is simplifying the conversation about mindset, starting with the definition. Now, this is a very fun exercise for everybody listening. Go out there and grab a couple of people that are really big, because that's how people really big on mindset, and ask them, hey, what is mindset? And get some popcorn and watch. You're probably going to get a blank stare or a very long, drawn out, big picture, philosophical and probably complicated answer. And I might own the record for the most amount of definitions of mindset read in one single sitting. One morning, 2 years ago, I sat down and read 143 definitions of mindset.
2 years ago.
There's a ton of them out there. And ours is the most simple that I've come across. So the Enlifted definition of mindset is the story that you tell yourself. Your client's mindset is the story that they tell themselves about fill in the blank, about their body, about their finances, about their partner, about food. Okay. And that story, whatever it's about, is made of words. And so, Enlifted is it's a path, it's a practice, it's a very ancient practice, if you want to think about it. Zooming out from the name Enlifted, people have been thinking about their thinking for a very long time. And in the great Alan Watts, which is, in my personal opinion, the best Zen teacher the West has ever had and will ever have, said, when you learn to think about your thinking, you become alive in a new way. Most people are not thinking about their thinking, they're just thinking. And there's a difference. And so in Enlifted, we help people think about their thinking in a few ways. What's the end of
that again? When you learn about your thinking?
When you learn to think about your thinking, you become alive in a new way. So what's he talking about? He's talking about observing your story, paying attention to your words, raising awareness about the story that you're telling yourself, also known as mindset. And this one goes way back, everybody. When I say abracadabra, Patty Zito, what do you immediately think of? Don't say it. What do most people immediately think of?
Magic.
Most people do. Some people go to Steve Miller Band, gonna reach out and grab you. And it's abracadabra it's the definition of abracadabra. It's a lot cooler than that. It's a lot more ancient than that. So abracadabra is Aramaic. It's one of the two languages Jesus spoke. It's the language the original Old Testament was written in. And it translates, abracadabra translates to with my word I create, or with my word I influence. They would triangulate abracadabra, they meaning the teachers of the day. They would triangulate abracadabra and wear it around their neck to remind them of the power and the mechanism of words, the spoken words, because they knew, they were smart, that if my language is working against me, everything's going to be way harder than it has to be. If I can get my language working for me, I can do amazing things. And most people's language is working against them, unbeknownst to them. And we didn't learn about this aspect of the English language, or any language really, in high school English class. I come from a teaching background. I've got a master's degree in education. I can take a dump on it if I want to. I didn't have any classes in high school. I mean, did you, Patty Zito? About how to use your language to stay focused on what's important to you and keep the drama low and build yourself up in your feelings and emotions and your imagination, self-image, creating feelings of confidence and competence. And while you're at it, turn yourself into a better listener. Because when you get your language working for you, a lot of cool things happen, including your breath unlocking. And when the better story people tell themselves, the better they breathe, which is super important when it comes to relationships. How big of a part of relationships is listening? And, and then how about digestion? Mm-hmm. How do people's how does most people's language is working against them? They're creating the victim mentality by accident. I'll give that definition here in a second, which is stressful, which keeps their breath trapped in their chest. Yep. What happens to people's digestion, Patty Zito, when their breath is trapped in their chest?
Yeah, it clogs it in, because digestion actually starts in the brain, unlike most people think it starts in the mouth. It starts here.
Here's a fun fact. Did you know that the second and third most commonly purchased over-the-counter medication in the United States is indigestion medication and constipation medication?
Yes.
That's not a shocker. And nope. I'm convinced that a large part of that is because people are telling themselves a not so good story about themselves, and their breath is trapped in their chest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when someone's breath is trapped in their chest, it's going to, of course, people do not digest, circulate, assimilate, eliminate when they're in stress responses very well. Body's not designed to do that.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I mean, that's how I actually got into NTA, right? I was so tired of going to the specialist for the constipation story that nobody likes to talk about. But that's how I got started and read the book from, oh my goodness, now I forgot. But it talked about body and mind. And it's one of the NTA practitioners wrote it. And that's how I got into that certification. And then with you, obviously the story, and maybe this will be a good segue, the story that I was telling myself as a NTC, as a nutritional therapy consultant, as you remember, is that how can I teach others while I'm still struggling with my health? But I didn't say it that nicely. I said, how can I teach others while I am walking around with a belly muffin? Like really rude comment to myself, right? And I wouldn't say that to my niece, right? I wouldn't say that to someone I love. Hey, look at your belly muffin, right? So why did I say that in my story to myself? And I said that for a very long time until the Billy story, which I'm not sure if you remember. But yeah, definitely. And then breath actually was a little bit, maybe probably a year after Paleo Effects is when I was connecting to that more. I think I got very focused on words, but so focused that I was still, as you like to hold it, like not letting go. Okay, this is what I got to do. And I'm taking notes from you, and I have to do this. So after a year, and when we started doing more of the breath work with, sorry, tell me his name again, who will come up on
Brandon
Sunday.
Powell.
Yeah. So because it was access that I will have, that I still have right now, even if I don't have a pen and paper, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
which is my breath and how do I regulate myself? So, before that, do you want to share how your story, how you like personally, why? And I know them, like I was telling you, I watched a few videos.
This is
So
my 459th podcast.
okay, yeah, no,
Just
I
now.
certainly not go through all of them. I'm gonna say 10.
You'll hear a lot of the same stuff, which there's value in that.
Mm-hmm.
And some of that is, my personal background. So I was an MMA fighter back in the late 90s before it was cool. And it was the only thing I wanted to do. And I moved to Thailand. This is a short story. And I was going to stay over there for a year, train, and then come back and go pro. I was doing well on the amateur scene. And that's not what happened. My knee fell off. I had my second knee surgery over there. And darkness descended.
Mm.
And I entrenched a nasty victim mentality about myself, about my life. There's something wrong with me. I'm doomed to fail. I was a born loser. Here's the proof. And fortunately, about a year and a half later, a long, painful year and a half later, I went to an emotional detoxification workshop. And I watched a guy turn a woman's very public and embarrassing breakup story on its head.
Yep.
By changing one word.
Yep.
He did that to me. And he had her say that a few times. So everybody in the room staring at that same sentence, same spell. And then he goes, take out the word me and put in the word himself. He did that to himself. It went up at the end. It's called up talk. She asked a question, and then the breath unlocked. He did do that to himself. And then she just started going off about how he lost friends and all this stuff. And then she finally said, it's never going to work out anyway. He was actually really weird. So it just changed her. And I watched it and I saw it. And I was like, that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And I've got some stories myself. That was in 2003. And I studied for 4 years. And I went pro January 17th, 2007. And I've been doing this one thing since. And it's had chapters and versions. And for the past 6.5 years, we've been certifying coaches. I'm one of the co-founders and co-owners of Enlifted. I'm the head coach. I deliver all of our trainings still, all the level 1s, the 2s and 3s. And it's where 98% of my professional time goes with this work. I do, and I don't put it out there, but some people find me for interesting reasons. And I do a little bit of work with people outside of the Enlifted certifications, but I'm just mainly teaching this stuff relentlessly. And we have certified it's right around 500 coaches so far. And the coaching community is, phenomenal. I'll put our coaching community for mindset up against any mindset coaching community out there for a variety of reasons. And so that's what we do, and we do it well, and we have fun, and because this is more than coaching to us. the art of transformational wordsmithing. If you're helping someone with their mindset, you're going to be changing their stories. Yeah. That's the only, if it has to. When someone says, I changed my mind. Oh, you changed some stories. Oh, I see things different now. You changed some stories. I had a cognitive shift. So you've changed the story. I reframed the situation. You changed the story. My life's completely different. You changed some stories. And if you're changing stories, you're changing words. You're using different words. So now we can come full circle back to the definition of mindset. So I repeat myself for a living. I'm a trained teacher. I do it on purpose. Mindset is the story that you tell yourself. And that story is made of words. It's actually made of words and breath. Your client's mindset is the story that they tell themselves. And that story is made of words and breath. And if you want to, quote unquote, work on someone's mindset, you got to get down to the word level, because that's where the action's at. Most coaches, and we just did, it was the 5th time I was on his show. He's one of our level 2 coaches, Resilient Humans. Kevin Wood. He owns Moncton CrossFit. And we talked about the original sin of coaching.
Original sin of coaching?
Sin of mindset coaching is thinking that you have to have all the right answers. That's hell on earth for a coach.
Yeah.
And so we help coaches stay out of that. There's a big difference between I got all the right answers for your life coach and a good questions coach. We're over in the good good questions. Good questions, good breathing. Okay. Because good breathing equals good coaching. Because good breathing equals good listening, and good listening equals good coaching. So good breathing equals good coaching. So we train our coaches to breathe well while they're coaching, which keeps people out. It zooms people out. It keeps people out of drama bonding and trauma bonding, which is extremely common in the coaching space in general, and especially mindset. So let's talk about this, because it's important. And it might sound harsh at first, and it's not. We tell our coaches, do not believe your clients' stories. Observe your clients' stories, because guess what? The story that they're starting with, that story is going to change. We teach people how to change stories. And so if I know that the story they're telling me right now is going to change, we're going to make some adjustments. We're going to use different words. We're going to, quote unquote, work on it. If I know it's going to change, why would I believe it right now? Why would I allow myself to believe it right now? So don't believe your client's story. Observe your client's story. Observe your client's words. Your clients aren't paying attention to the words they're using. Observe your client's rate of speech. How fast is the story going? The faster the story goes, the harder it is to change. Take that to the bank. Yep. So they're not paying attention to how fast they're telling the story. Pay attention to your client's breathing. They're not paying attention to their breathing. So you stay out. So drama bonding is when you get sucked into the story, when you believe the story. Stay zoomed out, observe it. And you do that. One of the ways that you demonstrate that is to get your breath low and slow and observe. And then that keeps you out of trauma bonding. What's a trauma bond? Glad everybody asked. It's when your client goes into a stress state and you go into a stress state with them. So their breath locks in the chest, they get emotional, your breath locks in the chest, you get emotional, and now you've got a mess. You got a real mess. And it's not fun either.
No, it's not. No. Love when you say questions pull. I think my dog agrees with that. Questions pull, answers push.
Oh, yeah. That's
huge.
It's huge. If whoever's listening to this, if that's all you get from this conversation, that's worth your time. Answers push, questions pull. Answers I tell them, questions they tell them. And it keeps you out of when someone thinks that they have to have all the right answers, when a coach thinks they have to have all the right answers, oh my God, there's so many problems to it. What does that mean? That means you got to be smarter than all of your clients about everything. Okay. You got to have the wisdom about everything. Okay. And Well, if I have all the right answers for their life, then I should have all the right answers for my life. And if I have all the right answers for my life should look perfect. And nobody's life looks perfect. So what ends up happening is that opens the door for the imposter syndrome.
Ooh, what's that, Mark England?
The imposter syndrome is believing that you're a fraud. And when you're all wise and mighty and smart, smarty pants coaching, that's what we call it behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, that's inherently stressful.
Oof.
It's extremely stressful for a coach, and it tanks more coaching careers. The fear of being an imposter, also the fear of being seen, socophobia, the telephobia, the fear of not being good enough, the imposter. So you put all that together and you've got a victim mentality sandwich. I'll get to the definition of that here in a second. Yeah. And that tanks more coaching careers than people don't wake up in the middle of the night sweating about email funnels. You're being, seriously. Yeah. It's and a lot of that comes from thinking that you have to have all the right answers for your clients. You do not. Yep. You don't.
Yeah.
When you have good questions and you understand the mechanics, the mechanism of mindset, what it is, what it's made of, how it works. And that's what we do. So I'm still answering the question. I'm putting a lot of in my personal professional opinion, valuable points on the board to help coaches, one, deliver on the transformation, keep themselves out of the imposter syndrome and out of that, and just do a better job because what professional coach wouldn't want to do that? People want to help people. That's what gets coaches in the door. They want to help people. And you know what keeps them in the door? Making it a career. And so what does that mean? Got to be good at it.
Yeah.
You get better at it. It's a skill set. Treat it as a skill set. Mm-hmm. And that's how we see and then coach mindset. So what is Enlifted? It's we'll take out what is it. Enlifted is badass.
Yes, indeed.
It's badass because it's simple.
Yeah.
It's simple and it's effective. And we've got a body
of
work.
The ego.
What's that?
It takes out the ego and
that's another thing. Yes. Mm-hmm. When I don't have to be smarter than you, Patty, it absolutely crushes the white shadow, the white shadow of a coach or the spiritual ego of a coach. Yeah, that's a very real thing. I'm a coach, so I'm up here, and you're my client, so you're down there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Teacher, student. Yeah.
The playing field from the very beginning. We teach people about the power of their words and stories. We teach people how to go get their clients scary stories that are kept in their head and what to do with them, 4-stepping. We teach people how to coach on a level. So keeping it clean. We talk about clean coaching a lot. How to not drama bond and trauma bond. And we have fun doing it. Yeah. And we have fun doing it. Yeah. Enlifted is a lot of things. You know what? You'll like this. I don't know if it will land for your Australian
community.
Yeah. Enlifted is the Wu-Tang sword style of transformational wordsmithing. She's from Staten Island. And I know I've been to Staten Island. And the Wu-Tang Clan is from Staten Island. Yep. Everybody's like, he had me up until he said the Wu-Tang sword style. And you know what? I don't need anyone to understand it because you do, Patty Zito. Now, what do you want to talk about? I got stories. I can supplement what I just said with some stories.
Yeah. Well, let's because it's so good with the trauma bonding because we want to have all the answers. And of course, I've been there, and I remind myself now as a teacher, right? Teaching Spanish. So I know that practitioners create a plan for clients. And the question is that, well, we have a plan. And so we have our own goal. Mm-hmm. And then we try to help our clients with their goal. Mm-hmm. However, we miss out on the language that we're using to reach those goals? Can we talk about goal setting? Because I think let's transition right into that about goal setting.
What about goal setting would you like to discuss? Because that can
Well,
be a
more
big topic.
specifically, how does our inappropriate use of our language get in our own way of our goals?
Okay, that's I like that entry point. So first things first, you got to write stuff down. You got to write stuff down.
Mm-hmm.
There's a mile-wide line in the sand between dreams and goals, and most people do not have goals; they have dreams. So only 3% of the population has goals. But I really want it. Have you written it down? No. You mean it's in your head? Yes. That means you have a dream. Okay. The difference between a dream and a dream is in your head and a goal is written down. And based off of a 30-year goal setting study out of Harvard, once someone writes something down, it becomes 10 times more likely to happen. What? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So first things first, if you want dreams, keep the things that you want to do in your head. Cool. If you want to have goals, write them down. And then from there, I recommend writing out your goals in full sentences. So one thing that you want to do per sentence. So instead of saying lose
weight,
15 pounds,
mm-hmm.
okay, I want to lose 15 pounds. Perfect. Now it's in a full sentence. Let's add to that. By when? 2032? No, by July, because we got to go to the beach. Oh, I want to lose 15 pounds by July 1st. Okay, so now you're getting more clear about what you want. And then backing up from there, a lot of people's goals are written in negations. So I don't want to feel so insecure at the beach. I don't want to feel insecure when we go to the beach. Okay, great. That's what you don't want. What do you want? I just told you, I don't want to feel insecure. I get what you're saying. You told me what you don't. What do you want? Oh, I want to feel good in my bathing suit. I want to feel good in my bikini. Cool. Now we're using our words, like I said earlier, to stay focused on what we want, to stay focused on what's important to us. My driving teacher said when I got in the car many years ago, look where you want to go because you're probably going to go there. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have any classes about negations in high school. Hey, if you use your words like this, you're going to catastrophize, which is a fancy word for worrying. And a lot of that comes from, can'ts and won'ts and don'ts and isn'ts and nots and haven'ts and hasn'ts. I can't keep fighting with my husband all the time. Okay, great. What did those words just force you to create the picture of? Fighting with your husband again. Yeah. I can't keep doing it. Cool. What can you start doing? Having better conversations with him? Yeah, cool. Say it. Mm-hmm. A lot of times it's clunky because we haven't practiced using those words that way. I can have better conversations with my husband more. Cool. Say it again. You got to practice this stuff. I can, because you got to talk yourself into it. I can have better conversations with my husband. I can. I totally can. Mm-hmm. I want to. That's what I want. The difference in those two sentences, look, you're using different words, right? Like what I said earlier. And so that's a goal. Absolutely. It's more and so use your words well. Get your words on paper and think about your thinking. Look at what words you're using and see if you can make them better, because you almost always can. Yeah. So, to keep it simplified, that's two pretty good, take out the pretty pieces of advice for goal setting.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I know that we hear a lot is the I should and the I have to
Mm-hmm.
heal or lose weight. Mainly heal or disease, right? So we use that. So want to share some light on the pressure language that we are
Sure.
not mindful of.
So
Okay.
we'll talk about a should detox
Mhm,
and then a health spells.
mhm.
So coaches, practitioners, you're going to hear your clients should on themselves. I should be more consistent in the gym. I should work on my diet. I should walk more. I should fill in the blank. When you catch them doing that, run a should detox. Okay. Take out the so first things first is get them. Most of the time, you want to get them to repeat the should statement
Yep.
so they are aware of the sentence. Because a lot of times people say things and they're not aware of what they're saying.
Yep.
It's scary, actually. Anyway, so remind them, hey, you just said you should get to the gym. You should be more consistent working out. I should be more consistent working out. And then you say, hey, you just said you should be more consistent working out. Did I? Yeah, you did. Say it again. I should be more consistent with my workouts. Cool. Take out the should and put in could. And a lot of times they'll make a noise. I could be more consistent with my workouts.
Mm-hmm.
Take out the should, or excuse me, take out the could, put in can. I can. I can. I could be more consistent with my workouts. And then you stick a because on it. Stick a because on the end of the sentence. I could be more consistent with my workouts because I've got the time. Once the kids go to school, I mean, I can go there two days a week, 3 days a week. I can definitely go there on the weekends. And so what you just did is you got them out of pressure and obligation, because that's what the word should does. It creates pressure and obligation, and most people do not like that. They don't. If you want a very reliable window to see what you, because this applies to anyone who uses that word, what you or your clients are either going to struggle to get across the finish line or are not going to do, pay attention to what you use the word should in context to. It turns people into inaction zeros. And so what you do is you walk them out of it one word at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to go one word at a time, because if you go straight to can plus because, it, for whatever reason, it doesn't work as well. And you'll sound like, can I cuss on here?
Yes.
Cool. You'll sound like every other positive thinking asshole on Instagram. So skip going to the end and go should to could, could to can to can plus because.
Mm-hmm. Why the because, Mark? Why is because so important?
Very good question. Because when someone gives themselves a reason, they give themselves a why, and it doesn't matter what the why is, they get a 33% boost in buy-in, in energy. And most people like that. So that's something that you all can, you'll hear people shoulding on themselves maybe in your next coaching session. So you'll definitely hear it in the next week. So that's one thing you can do with that. Okay. And look at what you're doing. You're helping them work on the story that they're telling themselves by working at the word level.
Yeah.
Okay. It's got to come down to the word level. There, I said it again. And then for people that are, so how did that do for the should detox? Did that answer your?
Yeah, it's good. Would you in that situation add the get or just keep it at because with your clients?
Yeah, good enough is good enough.
I used
to be a maximum effective dose coach. Now I'm more in the camp of minimum effective dose.
There we go.
You know, difference between Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah. And then as far as, I have to heal, something
Mm-hmm.
like that. So healing. Most people get into nutrition. A lot of people get into the nutrition conversation because they need to heal something. Okay.
Yep.
They have a condition. They want to get better at it. So this is something that you can do with your clients. You can do it with yourself too. That is very badass and real. It's called a health spell. Health spell. So what's the definition? Everybody knows what health is. What's the definition of a spell? A word or a combination of words of great influence. That's Webster's definition of a spell, not mine. Okay. There's no bubbling cauldrons of like weird witchcraft symbols. That's what the definition of a spell is. And so a health spell is the story of what their life would be like, could be like, can be like, pick the word, with them being healed. And most people do not have the story of that written down, which is also a goal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when someone goes out to heal themselves, that they have that as a goal, correct?
Correct.
Well, no, it's not, because if it's in their head, it's a dream.
Mm-hmm.
Back to that.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to get your clients to write out the story of them having lost the weight, or them having healed the condition, or healing the condition.
Mm.
And language tense, that's another part of the conversation.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I've got an opinion on that. And anything written down in a full story, not half sentences and bullet points. You don't want one sentence for that. You want 2 or 3 paragraphs, conversationally written. So full sentences with punctuation, as if they were telling the story to someone, because they are, and that someone is themselves.
Exactly.
Okay. And then from there, once it's written down, then you can 4-step it. Then you can read it. So here's the 4 steps. And if you got any questions, you can message me on Instagram about this. At Enlifted Coaches. I run that account. I answer all the questions that come in and out. And I like doing that. So 4-stepping. 1, title it, write it out. So give the title of the version of you or the version of your client, title what that story is, like a title to a movie, and then write it out. Step 1. Step 2, have them read it. Regular speed, just read it. Whatever happens is great. Step 2, read it slower at 30% of your normal rate of speech. So 30% slower than your normal rate of speech, 30% slower, or 70% of your normal rate of speech. 2 different ways of saying the same thing. So, and for whatever reason, 30% slower is the magic number. We've run all the tests. What happens when someone slows down their rate of speech? Their breathing loosens up. Very important. And then step 4 is that same story, read slowly, 30% slower, with a breath in between each sentence.
Yeah.
And what happens is there's a variety of ways of saying what happens. So it allows the person to take the new story to heart, or allowing it to sink in, or socializing the idea, or embodying the concept. Because if the breath is trapped in the chest, I don't care what the new story is, it's not getting in. It's going to be this cerebral exercise, and someone's going to say, oh, I don't feel it, and they're telling the truth. Okay, so we got to get in a down-regulated state for that new story to sink in. And when the new story sinks in, very magical things happen, stuff that is way above my pay grade. And you know what? I don't need to understand it to be able to work the system, to be able to pull the levers of the storytelling. I'm a storyteller.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That's it. I'm a storyteller. I'm an entertainer. I'm a teacher. That's it.
Yeah. And as a practitioner, that's why our breath is so important, right? Like you said, good luck trying to tell somebody when their breath is right here, right?
Yeah.
Instead
Yeah, they
of
can't hear you.
downregulated. Exactly.
Yeah. So it's,
Mhm.
it's good luck changing your client's mind when their breath is trapped in their chest. Let me say that another way. Good luck working on your client's mindset while their breath is trapped in their chest. You're going to get the nods, you're going to get the smiles, and you're going to think, wow, these inspirational quotes from Instagram are really working. No, they're not.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you. That's super helpful. And I guess if we go back to the how exhausting it could be to trying to be the person who has all the answers, and to what you were
Exhausting,
saying,
doesn't work.
clean coaching. This is the cleanest coaching that I have come across myself. So yeah, thank you for that.
You're
Because
welcome.
oh, go
Me
ahead.
too. And it's we're the only people I've ever heard use the words clean coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Most people aren't
Mm-hmm.
even thinking about it in terms of cleanliness,
Yes.
as far as like metaphysical cleanliness, emotional cleanliness.
Hmm.
And it
And
starts,
breath. Hmm.
there's a lot to that.
Yeah.
Part of it is the simplicity that we bring to the table. It's one of our calling cards, again, starting with the definition. Okay. It's also, we do not teach right and wrong. We don't teach good and bad. We teach awareness and creation.
All right answers.
All right answers. Whatever your client says is correct. You nod at it and go with it. And then it gets from there. I've been saying this one for a while. If someone we don't nudge anybody. I don't nudge people to go into stuff. That's their business. If somebody has a story and they want to go in there, I will go in there.
Yeah.
If somebody has a story and they don't want to go in there, you couldn't pay me to go in there.
Yep.
You couldn't pay me $1 million to go in there. Why would I want to go in there if they don't want to go in there? And you'll never hear me say something like, you really should deal with that. I don't know that. Yeah. How could I know that? And you know what? I wouldn't want to know that even if I could know that.
Yeah.
And you won't hear us say any dumb shit like, don't be so hard on yourself. Or you just need to trust yourself more. Or you need to set stronger boundaries. See, that's smarty pants coaching. That's all the right answers coaching. You'll never hear me say that because I know better. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how many times has Jimmy gone, what does he call you? Does he call you Patty?
Yeah, just Patty. I call him Hanito.
Hanito. Okay. Right. How many times have you said Hanito? That's right. I forgot about that. I knew about this Hanito thing. How many times have you said, Hanito, you're overreacting? And he goes, oh my gosh, I am overreacting. Let me calm down real quick.
How many times did I get that answer?
Yes.
0.
No Hanito or honey has ever calmed down because someone said you need to calm down.
Yep.
That's where I'm going with this. No one has ever stopped overreacting because someone said you're overreacting. That's what I mean by answers versus questions.
Agree. And thank you for bringing it back to my husband. By the way, Hanito is Hani and Guido got married and we made up the word Hanito.
What is for everybody in Australia? They don't know what Guido is. What's a Guido?
They don't actually. There may be some Americans in there. But since you brought up a husband and family members,
she's not answering. Go ahead. Go ahead. What's a Guido?
Oh, I'm sorry. You asked that question. I must have been thinking about.
I want people to. I could see 1,000 nutrition coaches in Australia going, Guido?
Guido is the Italian American who, it's an Italian American culture. And that's the best way I could explain it.
So Jimmy's a Guido and he's also your honey.
Correct.
So his name is Hanito.
Yeah, Hanito.
Good one. Yeah. I bet Jimmy. He's quite the Hanito.
I had someone on Facebook actually say, really shouldn't be calling people from Staten Island Guidos. And I'm like, You're certainly not from Staten Island
I
because
was
if you're
about to
from
say,
Staten
have you ever
Island,
been to Staten Island?
no, she's from a different state, but her husband is a greeter for sure. But
Are people
anyway,
still getting offended online? Is that still happening?
yes, yes,
You
and
know how
that's
boring
why
that is?
you and Leanne, I can't wait until you guys meet because oh yeah, Leanne will pick on that. So I think you
Hi,
guys are gonna be
Leanne.
best
Let's get
friends.
on a call, Leanne.
Exactly. We will make that happen. But
I
since you
like
brought
it.
a husband or maybe the household or family, can we switch to family? Because you said how many times did that work with my husband and OB
Mhm.
zero? So there are a lot of practitioners who are also parents.
Mhm.
So can we transition into the parenting part of how, as parents, we can help our children to the obstacles of this modern world? Like,
Yep.
where do we start as parents? And then
Yep.
we can land end there.
Well, if you want to do it well, you want to long game the conversation
Mm,
about what? About the story of the family. Okay. The
okay.
story of the family is made of words. Okay. And the mother's story, the father's story, those are big components of the story of the family. And so if you want to help your children, if you want to help your children with their mindset, work on yours. Learn what it
Mm,
is. Learn what it's made of. Um, learn learn about it, and we'll get to soft talk here in a second because it's something that people can do and put up on the fridge and then turn it into a family sport,
mm,
family games. That's another thing we've done. We've simplified the conversation about mindset. We've also gamified it. More on that in a second. So, and it's a byproduct. They go hand in hand. Better usage of language positively impacts breathing mechanics. So the better someone uses their words, the better stories they tell themselves, the better, and it's not about having, the better mindset someone has, it's not about having it. The better mindset someone creates, the better they're going to breathe. Okay.
mm, mhm.
The worse someone's mindset is, the worse they're going to breathe. And breathing patterns are shared within a family. Another way of saying that
Mm,
is children inherit their parents' breathing patterns. That right there is wild
mhm.
to think about. And it's true. Think
Yeah.
about it. There's a lot of tension in the house. When someone says that, they're referring to everybody holding their breath. And very rarely does a child grow up in a high stress environment where everybody's holding their breath and they go out and they have a cool, calm, collected demeanor. Their breathing is low and slow. No, because of something called entrainment. You can look up entrainment. So it was first noted in the West in a Swiss clock shop. The clock owner noticed that all of the small clocks in the shop came into synchronization with the largest, biggest, strongest clock.
Hmm.
So it set the tone. And guess what? Parents are bigger and larger and stronger, okay, than children. And so they set the tone. A lot of that is with their breath. A lot of it is with their words. And those two things are interconnected like an
Yeah.
infinity symbol. Good luck separating your words and your breath. Have fun. You can't. And so breathe a little bit better around your kids and watch what happens. Here's a story of that. So this is about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. I get on a discovery call. I take all the discovery calls because I could. If you want me to elaborate on the search later, I can, and it's interesting. We do things different
Mhm.
from the very beginning. So anyway, I'm on a discovery call with this guy, and these calls, they're an hour long, And we get on, and he introduces himself. His name's Justin, and he owns a CrossFit gym in Texas. And he goes, I just want to let you know that I'm signing up. I go, okay. And he goes, and I want to tell you why before we get into anything about anything else. I'm signing up, and here's why. And I said, okay, cool. Tell me. And he goes, my wife and I were in the hospital, and she was having her second child, and it was a complicated pregnancy. And we're in a hospital room. It's my wife, myself, and our 3-year-old son. And all the bells and whistles and noises are going off. Doctors and nurses are coming in and out. It's complicated. It's chaotic. My son is having a nuclear meltdown on the floor. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, because he had heard me on a podcast talking about this exact same thing, low and slow breathing, okay, in context to influencing children. You don't have to say a word. You can just start breathing better. That's super sneaky and super cool. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, you'll like it too. And he goes, I could say something to my 3-year-old, or I could just get my breath low and slow and keep it there. And he goes, I went with the breath. And he got his breath low and slow. And he said in 2 minutes, his son calmed down, crawled up on his chest, put his head on his chest, and went to sleep in the middle of all this madness. And he goes, that worked. And he said he decided right then and there he's going to get certified as an Enlifted coach. And he did.
I love that.
Ask me another question. I'm going to go get the soft talk keyword plaque, one of them. And so we can include this in the conversation. So your audience has something extra awesome to do.
Yeah, for in the low and slow, it's maybe just keeping that to connecting that to clients, I would say. And then I was just gonna ask about your upcoming events, and then also share your website, because I actually have it in here. But let me see. I'm just looking. Oh, there's one more if you want to go into it. So it's how are common. What are some common traps practitioners fall into around mindset towards their clients and their use of client-focused language? I think actually, never mind. You already touched on that.
Well, I got a damn good answer for that.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll go with that one.
Okay. Write this sentence down. I am responsible for my clients. Everybody write that sentence down. I am responsible for my clients. And then go ahead and read it, Patty Zito.
Yep. I am responsible for my clients.
What kind of feeling does that create?
Pressure.
Oh, really? Never could have guessed. So let me tell a story real quick. Mm-hmm. One of our level 2 coaches, Leanne Knox, Australia, she holds a number of world records in powerlifting. She's a powerlifting coach, Olympic lifting coach in Northeast Australia. Her and her husband, Steve Knox, are both level 2 coaches. And she works with a lot of people about mindset. And she messaged me in the community and said, hey, I'm overthinking my clients, as in, I think about them when we're off the calls, and it's too much. I'm worried if they're getting the transformation, and even though I know they are, I just keep overthinking this stuff, and it's I'm stressing myself out. And I go, oh, let me guess. You're saying something along the lines of, I'm responsible for my clients. She goes, that's exactly what I'm saying. And most coaches say that. And it keeps them in a state of pressure and overwhelm. And it's too much.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, yeah, read that sentence again, Patty.
Yeah. I am responsible for my clients.
Scratch out the word for everybody and put in the word with everybody.
Okay.
Now read it.
I am responsible with my clients.
What's the difference?
Well, one, pressure off and collaboration.
Correct. I'm responsible with my clients. That means things are even. Again, clean. I show up. I do my job. I'm a professional. I'm on time. I know what I'm talking about. I'm breathing well. I'm asking good questions. I'm creating a plan for them. We've got things to do. Okay. And guess what? They got to show up too.
Yeah.
Because this is an adult conversation. This is the real world. I'm not going to hold your hand if you're not going to hold mine.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's collaborative. It is a team sport. That's pro right there.
That is definitely a pro.
Okay. Because sometimes clients show that they don't put in the effort. I'm not going to worry about them.
Yeah.
If they don't put in the effort, why would I put in 20 times extra effort trying to motivate them? And no. This is not my first day on the job. It's not my second day on the job either. Okay. Yeah. And turns out when you meet someone that way, it helps them raise the bar on their side too.
Yeah. Yeah. It no longer is, because I know a lot of people transition from medicine to then the supplement or the food, and they make it all just about that. Like, give me the magic recipe, give me the magic supplement. So without doing the work and putting down the work on a piece of paper.
So there's this thing. It's called soft talk.
Yes.
Okay. So we're circling back to, hey, how can I help my family with the story that everybody's telling themselves? Okay. Again, your story is your personal story is a big part of your family story. Your personal story is very influential on your family story. As in the words you use internally, what you think. Okay. Even though they can't hear it, but pick up on the vibe. What you say and what you write. And if you want to help across the board, you need a place to start. Okay, so breathe better. Pay attention. And it doesn't really take that much. If you breathe 5% better 50% of the time, that is huge.
Yeah.
That is huge. And you can do that. You can totally do that. And then as far as the words go, soft talk. So soft talk is the gateway drug to the rest of the words, because there are other words that script the dreaded victim mentality. Let's get that on the table. Then we'll talk about soft talk, and then we can talk about tell everybody where to go if they want to learn more about it.
Let's do it.
So I'm going to do this twice. I'm going to recite the definition of the victim mentality. First, slowly. Second, I'm going to speed it up and add some context. And I highly recommend that everybody listening to this write this down, because most people have never heard the verbatim definition of the victim mentality, much less written it down. And when you write it down, like we said earlier, magical things happen.
Yep.
Here it is slow. The victim mentality is an acquired personality trait where a person tends to regard himself or herself as the victim of the negative actions of others, even in the absence of clear evidence. The victim mentality depends on a habitual thought process and attributions. That's the verbatim definition. Here it is sped up with some polish. The victim mentality is an acquired personality trait. Where a person tends, it's a tendency, everybody. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. A person tends to regard himself or herself as the victim of the negative actions of others, even in the absence of clear evidence. The victim mentality depends, circle that word, on a habitual, underline that word, thought process and attributions. That second sentence is right between the eyes, right where it belongs. The victim mentality depends, as in it has to have a habitual, which accurately implies duration and addiction, thought process. What's a thought process? Glad you asked. It's how you put your words together. It's how you use your words. That's what your thought process is. Everybody has one. And attributions. What's an attribution? It's a characteristic. And the characteristic that we pay attention to second most after the words is people's breeding. Okay? So if the victim mentality depends, has to have a habitual thought process. What's a thought process? It's how you use your words. What words do we start paying more attention to? These right here. This is called soft talk. And these words, I guarantee you, these words are in your client's language.
Yeah.
I guarantee you they're in there, and I guarantee you they're creating indecision, and which is a form of stress. Okay, not fun. And here's what you do. I'm going to rattle these off. I'm going to read these off. Get a pen and write them out, all capital letters, 5 times larger than you normally write. It's going to get your attention. And then take that piece of paper and stick it on your fridge for 3 months and watch what happens. It gamifies it. It turns it into a game within your family.
Yes.
Cool things happen. So here we go. So let me show you how these things sounded. It's almost like I'm binge eating after dinner. You know, maybe I'm staying up too late scrolling on my phone. Take out the maybe. I'm staying up too late scrolling on my phone.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's almost like I'm binge eating after dinner. Take out the almost like. I'm binge eating after dinner. You know, I guess I am self-sabotaging myself. Take out the guess. I'm self-sabotaging myself. You know, I'm kind of being a little hard on myself. Take out the kind of. I'm being hard on. And what happens is you solidify what's happening, what you're doing, because most of the time people take these sentences, these words out, and they're like, yeah. I probably should book in for some nutrition consultations. Take out the probably. I should book in for some nutrition consultations. Take out the should, put in could. I could book in. Yeah, I could. Take out the can. I can book in. Stick a because on you. I can book in for some nutrition consultations because I want to look good in my bikini in July. You see how I just brought all that back together? So here we go. Patty, I want you to read these out. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to write these out on a piece of paper 5 times larger than you normally write and stick it on your fridge. Take a picture of it. Put it on Instagram. People love this stuff. And then tag me at Enlifted Coaches. I'll repost it.
Yeah, definitely tag you in it. I'm putting it right here, right? At Enlifted Coaches?
Yep.
Correct?
Correct.
Beautiful. All
Read these words out.
Soft talk challenge. Probably, perhaps, feels like, guess, maybe, could, might, possibly, sort of, kind of, potentially, hopefully, try, one day, should, almost like.
What will happen, because I've just said it, and they want to hear you say it. Because you know all about this. What will happen if people start plucking those soft talk keywords out of their language?
confidence will definitely boost up, and second guessing yourself. And your breathing gets better, and you're more honest with yourself. I will add that too. Definitely more honest. And yeah, I would say confidence, honest, and your breathing.
And what will happen for their clients if they help them start taking
Well,
these words out of there? Because this translates, folks. This definitely
yep.
translates to your coaching sessions.
Yeah, because they will be specific and then clear.
Nice.
So,
I didn't pay her to say that, and that's one of the calling cards of Enlifted.
yeah.
Clarity. Help them get clarity. Don't worry about having answers for them, like motivational stuff. Help them get clarity and watch what happens. And if you want to
Clarity
facilitate
before
clarity,
focus.
then yes. If you want to facilitate clarity, then you need to learn. Clarity comes from understanding what mindset is and what it's made of. Then you can work on it. And that's what we do at Enlifted. We're there to create space and clarity.
Yeah. Yeah. And then starting with ourselves, like you said,
Exactly.
before children, is setting that tone. Us first, or like we love to say, is putting the mask on us first, the oxygen mask, and then your child.
Correct.
And then your clients. So,
correct.
Yeah, definitely.
Good time to tell them where to go if they want to.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I have your website in here, but you go ahead and can you share with our community where can they find you, or what's your next big event?
Yep. So, yeah, we certify coaches. It's all online. All the classes and the courses are live, taught by me. I teach all the level 1s, level 2s, level 3s. There's 10 people per certification or per level 1 certification. There's more on the level 2s. Level 1 is dedicated to the art and science of helping your clients get unstuck. Okay. It's 9 weeks long. Level 2 is dedicated to it's what do you do with your clients once you get them unstuck? And the answer is celebrating wins, celebrating progress, goal setting. That's the first half of level 2. The second half of level 2 is presentation skills and how to build and deliver Enlifted workshops. One of my faves.
Yeah. Do you have a next event?
We do. I mean, when is this podcast dropping?
Most likely February, I'm going to say. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. So we have Group 55 starting March 11th.
Ooh.
Okay. And then that'll be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So not very Australia friendly. And then we're Group 56 will be in April. So the times will be on the website, and you can always book in for a discovery call with me. Well, you have to actually, and we'll get on a call and talk about where you're at and what you want to do with your coaching, and see if we're a good fit for you and you're a good fit for us. Yeah. Because we don't scale this thing. There's only 10 people per level 1 certification, and it's all done in person. It's all live. And we do that because this is more than just coaching to us. We could scale this thing.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, you're not going to make badass coaches on a self-paced course with 260 people on there with an assistant check-in twice a week. When it comes to mindset, okay, I don't know about other coaching. Like, that's cool. What we do, what we know about is what we do. Yeah. And then also, we like spending time with our coaches. Yeah. Yes. This is more than a business for us. Yes. Way more than a business.
Yes. It's a community, and I'm so happy that I get to unite two of my communities.
Yeah, likewise. Likewise. We have a number of people in the nutrition and lifestyle space.
Yeah.
Because they understand, hey, guess what? It's more than it's not about the cupcakes. There's something else driving the cupcakes. What's behind the cupcakes? Let's get in there. It's stories. Let's get in there, and then it makes everything easier when you help. It's just fun.
Yes, I love it. Well, thank you, Mark, so much. This super fun always talking to you. So
Likewise, Patty. We go way back.
We do. So since 2019, 2026, was that 7 years?
Yeah.
Look at that. 7 years. I love it. That's a beautiful number. Thank you. I'm running off to a pep rally for my school.
Do it.
Jimmy's going to be a dinosaur. I'll send you pictures.
Please send me.
It's going to be fun. And I will connect with Leon so you guys could meet. I know you just
let's do it.
Older. So yeah, we'll make it happen. Thank you, Mark. You enjoy your day. Are you free like for Saturday, Sunday? Or are you
I'm working.
Working.
I've got some work to do, and I've got some fun personal stuff to do. So yeah.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Patty.
All
Cheers.
Right. Cheers.